Hey guys, this is Introducing Emmy, and I did a little sketch yesterday morning and recorded it, recorded the process of it. I was originally going to make it into a multi-part video, but I didn't, after seeing all the footage, it took a couple hours to do it, and I was like, I don't think I can narrate all this in explicit detail. So instead, I'll just be talking over the speed draw of it. So yeah, like I said, it took a couple hours. I was in the mood to doodle a Cyclops. But I wanted her to have like a heart-shaped eye for some reason. I don't know how I got that idea, but that's what I wanted. So first I did a black and white sketch, and I added a little bit of color to the sketch over top of it with some kind of an effect. I can't remember what the effect was, just so that it, I don't know, had a little more texture. I generally work on, because you hear me scratching my head, I generally work on one layer. Save for some initial flats that I put down to kind of show where all the color and shading is going to be, like my general lighting direction. This Cyclops, my biggest fear was that she would look a little bit like my fan art that I've done for Futurama of Leela Turunga, another kind of infamous Cyclops in animation and cartoon art. So hopefully she doesn't look too much like that. I gave her pink hair. I did give her a little bit of a fountain hairdo. Very 80s sort of look. Those earrings, oh man. I miss the 80s. I'm an 80s girl. So yeah, here I'm just painting in some color. I'm just trying to block things out a little more. I think if I ever had the chance to go back and revisit this when I, like if I was going to put it in a book or something, that'd be a fun art book, like just a monster girl art book or something, like monster portraits, but like kind of unusual monsters, I guess. Not traditional. I don't know, what is a traditional monster? But anyway, I think if I was going to go back and redo this one, I would try to make her eye look like it was set in a little more. So here I took the eyeball onto its own layer, just so that while I was working on it, I wouldn't accidentally color on her in the background. See how the eyeball, it looks just a tad like it's set up above or it's bulging out. Later I put glasses on her, and that kind of hides some of that. The glasses I kept on their own layer in case I ever wanted to remove them or repaint them, but her eye looks a little bulgy. I also attempted to give her... Oh, real quick, I should mention that... never mind, I don't remember what I was going to say. Anyway, I attempted a few times to try to give her eyelashes and stuff, but it just looked kind of weird. It looked a little fake. I know, it's a Cyclops with a heart-shaped eye, and I'm worried about the eyelashes looking fake, but... Yeah, I thought it looked a little fakey, so I ended up scrapping that idea. But like I said, if I ever take the glasses off, I will probably go in and try to define a lid and eyelashes or something. She's so cute. Oh my gosh. Oh man, those baubles in her hair. I had so much trouble finding just the color I wanted. I also gave her a little bit of like a wrinkle or a ridge above her nose. I don't know why I ended up doing that. It kind of made her look a little more monstrous or a little more like hog-nosed. If you've ever seen, oh shoot, I'm having a moment here trying to think what his name is. Any of Harryhausen's Cyclops? I think he did like two or three over his career in stop motion animation, but he would often, if I'm remembering correctly, not mistaking this was somebody else, he would often put like a ridge above the nose and below the eye of his Cyclops. So there I am, just kind of here I am, just kind of drawing a monster girl, doing some more detail work. A lot of people, you know, say you should wait to the very end to do detail, but I always kind of just do everything as I go. It just all comes with me, so to speak. So I tried to give her a slightly more defined hairstyle than just just a ponytail. She's supposed to be kind of like a nerdy 80s Cyclops girl. I didn't want to give her just a ponytail because it's such a Leela Tarunga thing, but I didn't want her hair to be down. I wanted it to be styled in some way, but not necessarily like an updo. So real quickly, what I did was I made a heart and deleted the inside and kind of used the warp tool to make it into glasses. I also used the bevel and emboss tool to just kind of give me a groundwork. I almost said a framework for the frames. A groundwork for the frames, shadows, and highlights. It's obviously not correct. It's not precise. So, or it's not precise, but what's the word I'm looking for? It's not necessarily the absolute most correct lighting, but you'll see I go back to these glasses over and over because I wasn't happy with them. I was getting really frustrated with the glasses, and I kept turning them on and off and trying to figure out how I wanted them to look, what color I wanted them to be. I forget what color I settled on. Finally, I think it was like a turquoise or a blue or something. So what am I? Oh, I made the image. I didn't like the size I was working at, so I made it slightly larger, and which is something you really shouldn't do. I wasn't planning on this doodle to really go anywhere, which is also something you should never do. Oh, there are those eyelashes again. I wasn't happy with that. You should always start every drawing as though it's going to be like in a museum someday. So make it big and work on it really big. I sort of halfway through made it larger. I forget by how much, and so I had to go in and like redefine certain details and stuff. It's been a while since I've done a digital painting like this. Oh, look at her freckles. I should have given her heart-shaped freckles, too. I also cropped the composition down quite a bit so that she looked even more, so she looked skinnier, even more skinnier. Speaking of English. And those earrings. Goodbye, earrings. We've had enough of your shenanigans. Her sweater, after working on it for a while, I realized she kind of looks a little bit like, she looks like a friend of Mabel from Gravity Falls, doesn't she? With that sweater. And that kind of nerdy oddness. I made a quick custom brush for doing the weaving on her sweater. Anybody who knits is probably like gagging at how bad that looks, but I know it's not great, but I just wanted to put texture on her sweater pretty quick there. More hearts. Always more hearts. In the final piece, you can't really see that very well, but it looks good. Hair always takes me a little while. You know, for some people, it's like their absolute favorite part. I don't know if it's my favorite part or not. I'm getting better at it, so I don't mind it as much. But in general, I don't like to spend a lot of time on it. So here I'm doing some color adjusting. A lot of times, for me personally, but I don't know how other digital painters work, but a lot of times when you're really working on digital painting for a few hours and you're really beating it into the ground or whatever, a lot of times your colors start to desaturate because you're doing a lot of like blending and overlaying and all kinds of stuff like that in Photoshop or Illustrator or Corel or whatever you're using. Probably not Illustrator, probably not digitally painting in Illustrator, but you know how you like do the digital painting in like the MS Paint and the Alchemy. If you've never used Alchemy, it's a great program. But anyway, so I did a little bit of color correction on New Layer Bob. I just added some splashes of color. I put some like purples and oranges and pinks around. This also gave me a good chance to go in and add some highlights. And I believe that was done on either a soft light or an overlay layer. Probably a soft light for the color correction and then an overlay layer for all the highlighting. And right there, I'll have to show you how to do that. That's a really quick way to get rid of lines in a digital painting. If you use the paint daub filter in just such a way, you can kind of make your lines disappear, like your sketch lines from the earlier parts, like when you're laying it out. If you've ever oil painted before, you know that what you do is you always want to paint over your lines, like, but in Photoshop, you don't want to like lose a lot of your earlier information. I do keep sketches, like I usually keep the sketch layer on top, but like I have it turned off. But without having to refer to that constantly, eventually your painting changes and stuff, and you lose some of what was in the original sketch. So yeah, it's not quite the same. I've always wondered, I've heard Corel has some kind of oil painting quality about it, and I don't know oil painting like really well. I did a little bit of it in college, and I was like, well, I'm never doing this again. But I've always wanted to kind of experiment with like digital oil painting, or a program that had some kind of algorithm that could mimic oil painting really well. I was really going to give her a heart-shaped locket, but I started to get really frustrated with it, and I thought it looked kind of ugly, so I ended up deleting it. So you can just sort of take this whole part for granted, because I got rid of it in the final product. So yes, I went back and finagled with her glasses some more. While I was working on this, I actually paused the recording and went out on a walk, which is a good thing to do. I was getting a little frustrated. Then I came back in and I started working on it again, and I thought, well, I'll make it work. I'll figure it out. She's such a cutie patootie. I ended up just giving her heart-shaped studs instead of those big dangly earrings. She looks like she's ready for her first day of Monster middle school. I love girls with short hair. They're so cute. It's my preference, ladies. So there, well, I think, what do I do? Oh, I added a background. Sorry. Forgot about that. Now it definitely looks like one of those like late 80s, early 90s school portraits with like the kind of airbrushed backgrounds. Well, I'm going to be wrapping this up. I plan to be doing some more stuff this week, some more videos. I've been working on my comic a lot lately, and I haven't had time to record, and I don't always like to record my comic because it's just the same stuff over and over, and I don't know what to commentate on after a while. But I'll try to have some red lines up and everything. And I'll also have a link to the finished piece in the description. And so I'll see you guys later.